Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to No Tea with JD. But this is a tag, and this is actually the Fathers We Know Best tag, originally by Joe Compton from Go Indiana. He did this last Sunday. I'm pretty sure he's gonna upload another tag this Sunday, but I wanted to do this. I'll catch up later to the rest. But it's 10 questions where. First 9 questions, you can choose any medium that you want. It can be movies, it can be stories, books, comics, whatever you want. The 10th one, it's kind of a curveball, but just so you know, first 9 questions, base it on something fictitious. By the way, I woke up and I had to work, so this is my get up to work on Sunday when the AC was up all night. And it's kind of chilly. And so, without further ado, or more incessant rambling, question number 1: which fictional father gives you the best and most sage advice? I think, although this is gonna be the one from a lot of people, I'm actually gonna offer two. One's kind of a father figure, the other one is a father figure, not kind of. The father figure is Arthur Weasley. I think his advice, and on many occasions, was actually pretty cool. And from Harry Potter, yeah, you could say Dumbledore or whatnot, but Dumbledore had like an agenda with Harry on occasions, and sometimes he hid stuff from him. Papa Weasley never did. He was always pretty clear, and I don't know, he's one of my favorite characters because I always liked his fascination with muggles and studying muggles and whatnot, and just that childlike thing. But still, when he had to give advice, I think it was pretty cool, and he would be a good father to have. Another sage character, well known. I'm gonna vary this. Some are well known, some are more obscure. That offered the best and most sage advice. I honestly have to say Gandalf. He always knew what to say, and at least he recognized when he couldn't do something. He was like, "Oh, I can't take the Ring of Power." But there's a lot of wisdom in Gandalf, from The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, and trust me, for me, if I had to ask someone advice, he would have always been pretty clear. Question number 2: which fictional father would you want to help? Would you want them to help you in a fight? Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was small in stature but big in everything else, and he was not one to be messed with. I remember the times that someone wanted to mess with him, they didn't end up too well. So definitely Mr. Miyagi for the win. Question number 3: which fictional father would you like to inherit their personality from? Joe mentioned this character. I'm not sure if it was for this question or another one, but he is a very memorable character, and I actually didn't know it was based on a book. But Edward Bloom from Big Fish. In the movie, I've only seen the movie. He was a fascinating guy, and just to have that joie de vivre and go on adventures, in terms of getting a rich life, yeah, it's pretty cool, and I don't think topping that would be pretty hard. And in terms of what I would want my personality to be like, I try to be happy-go-lucky. I try to go with the flow and enjoy life as much as possible. And definitely Edward Bloom enjoyed life till the last minute. Question number 4: which fictional father would you like to inherit their good looks from? I don't want to abuse from Harry Potter references, but damn, I'd go Sirius Black on that, happily. When you read Sirius Black, you know that he was suave, and he was like James might have been better looking, but he's the one that you would go like, "Ah, that's awesome." To me, it's like in the Beatles. I identify with George Harrison the most, and I think he was the coolest. Not the one who had the best songs, but the one that you went like, "Damn, that guy's cool." For me, it was George. He's my favorite Beatle. and My Guitar Gently Weeps is phenomenal. But yeah, Sirius Black looked the part of awesome father figure if there's ever been an awesome looking father figure. Question number 5. Which fictional father committed the most heroic act? I think repeatedly Duke Leto Atreides from the Dune series in that first book. It makes me want to read the prequels, even though that Frank Herbert didn't write them. But Duke Leto was heroic on so many occasions, but just taking the task to go to Arrakis was heroic because he knew it was a trap. But he knew that it was the best thing for his people, and when he got to Arrakis, he tried to be a very fair ruler to the people from Arrakis, from the freemen, and so on and so forth. I don't want to offer spoilers, but in his meetings with Baron Harkonnen, there was no fear in this man, or at least no lack of conviction. Fear, yes, because fear is not a bad thing. It's just being frozen by fear, and he was never frozen by fear. I will offer one example. They had hoarded a ton of spice, which is, if you haven't read Dune, it is pretty much the way that navigators can travel across the universe, and it's pretty much the highest valued currency of the universe. And they had this huge hoard of spice, but it was at risk of getting eaten by one of the sandworms who produced the spice. Duke Leto, rather than risk his, the workers that were there, he said for them to flee and retreat because they were more important than any damn spice. So several examples of heroics from Duke Leto. Question number 6. Which fictional character is in most need of a hug? President Thomas J. Whitmore from the first Independence Day movie. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't know why. If you have seen the movie, you do know why. But yeah, he deserves a really big ass hug. Question number 7. Which fictional father did the coolest thing? Back to school. Thornton Mellon, the triple Lindig. Apart from the parties, apart from everything, the triple Lindig is a type of thing that you see and you have to root for. Rodney Dangerfield, I don't know if I've mentioned it in this channel, but he reminds me of my grandfather. Skinny legs, big eyes, big belly, hell of a personality. I think my grandfather was better looking than Rodney Dangerfield, but they had that same cheeky, crazy ass charisma. And my grandfather, if he would have gotten 3 trampolines, he would have done the triple Lindy in a heartbeat. Question number 8. Which fictional character could benefit the most from becoming a fictional father? Honestly, Michael Scott. I think he would be such a cool dad. Embarrassing as hell, but through all of his atrocities, especially with Toby, I think that he would make a really cool dad. And question number 9, which fictional father is the funniest? Clark Griswold from National Lampoon's wins so many times and for so many reasons. If you haven't seen that series, please see National Lampoon's Vacation, please see European Vacation, and please see Christmas Vacation. They are all memorable for different reasons. But Chevy Chase, even though he's apparently an asshole, is a comedic, is comedic gold. It's a pity that he is so rough around the edges as a person and has ruffled quite a few feathers in so many series that you just lose count. But still, funny is funny, and you can bash him all you want, and you'd probably be justified in doing so. But still, hilarious. And question number 10. What was something your real father or father figure in your life taught you? My father figure was my grandfather. My father was my father. Um, I learned a lot from both of them. From Joe, my grandfather, um, I learned the value of enjoying life. He passed away when he was 75. Long story short, won't go into detail, had an accident, died suddenly. Still every day, me and mom miss him a lot. But he lived life to the max. He did not apologize for how he was or who he was. He helped people generously. Uh, Always well groomed, and he was vain to the point of being functional. It's not overly vain, but he was a well groomed man, and I did learn that from him and from my dad. As for my dad passed away when I was 23. Uh, Long story short, he got cancer. So I have the experience of losing a father and a father figure. One suddenly, and the other one it took a while. It took 5.5, almost 6 years for dad to eventually succumb to cancer. And I learned a lot. Um, I learned that I don't want to have to wait to have a condition like that to say I love you openly to people. It's not that my dad didn't love me. It's not that he didn't express these things or these feelings. It's just that he had a hard time with it for several reasons. But when he got that deadline, for lack of a more awful pun, he knew that his time had to mean something, and he learned to say "I love you" openly. He was endlessly more affectionate. We had a lot more conversations. It was a pity that it took something like that for him to get to that way, but I am happy that he got that lesson and that we were able to share many things. From super casual and cool conversations to awkward conversations of him trying to have the drug and sex talk with me. It's cute to think about that way, and I have learned a lot of things in hindsight. Good things and bad things. I'll start with the bad. My dad was an awesome guy. He had wonderful laughter. That it was as infectious as it got, but he had a hell of a temper and he wouldn't let things go. And I learned that you have to let things go eventually, or else they'll kill you or do you harm. And it's not you against the world all the time. And phrasing things in that manner won't help you get things done either. He would always get things done. And another bad thing that I did learn from him is that it can be all about work. If you went to my parents' bedroom, it smelled like construction plants because he worked nonstop. He was one of the most dedicated professionals I've ever met. But it begs the question, was it worth it? He provided for us at all times until he became ill. So in that sense, yeah. But I do wonder if he felt like he missed out on a couple of things. Every time that he took a break and we played basketball or anything. We never played catch baseball, but we did play basketball. It was a treat, and Dad was really good at basketball. He was in his junior team, and that was cool. The good things. Dad was one of the most respected engineers of his era in Puerto Rico, and he earned that reputation busting his ass. But also because when he was working, he would have to do bids for different projects, and people would try to coerce him or even bribe him to get those numbers, and he never accepted that. So in that sense, that sense of honor and doing the right thing, I definitely got that from Dad. And when he became ill, I saw the power of wanting to live in faith. And I'm not saying that I'm the most religious person. I do try to be spiritual and whatnot, and in my own way, and try to have my own relationship with whatever is out there. But I saw the power of that in Dad, in the sense that, you know, apart from him getting the treatment that he needed and whatnot, he wanted to live. And when you want to live, you live. Um, you live longer, you endure. And he did that. He did that a lot. A lot of lessons I've learned through hindsight with my relationship with Dad. And I would like to have any lesson that I have to share with anyone not have to be that way, not have to be based on the memory and processing that months or years later. Because there's no guarantee that there's another life. So why act that way? Anyways, this was a wonderful tag by a wonderful guy. Joe Compton is a wonderful guy. And you should definitely check out his channel. I will link his video below. As for people whom I tag, I do want to tag a couple of people. Some are recurring, others are a lot fresh, some I'm retaking. But I would like to tag Britt from GrlonKindleFire, because she's very honest and outspoken, and I'd like to see her perspective. I'd like to see the thoughts of Karen from Run Right Reads, Molly de Montaigne, wonderful booktuber, good soul. There's reasons for that, and for tagging for this tag. If you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. Nicole from Who Picked This Book, great booktuber again. I'm finally catching up with her channel. And Richard Reed, no, three more. Richard Reads, and another great booktuber, Haiti Angel, and Becky Ford. All of you are tagged to do this whenever it's most convenient. I did take a bit longer because the first time I did this video, it did not end well, and I wasn't happy with not my answers, but how hard it was to express it. And so, by all means, do it. Until next time, peace, love, and Mikey Rose.